This is the Transformers 4 Age of Extinction Generations Voyager class Slog. The figure is part of Wave 3 of the Generations Voyager class figures for the movie toy line. Here's a quick look at the packaging. Fantastic artwork. Looks pretty decent. Looks great on paper. And here's the other guy in the assortment, the repainted Skyhammer into the helicopter mode drift. So there you go. A non-movie Dinobot appearance, just like Snarl. But if you know your G1 canon, there were 5 Dinobots. Slash was not included in the line of Dinobots in the old G1 version, and as well as Scorn. They had Grimlock, Swoop, which is now called Strafe, Sludge, now called Slog, Slug, which used to be called Slag, Slag, which is now called Slug, and then Snarl, who is still called Snarl. And now we get the AKA Sludge in the Dinobot. So here he is. Not too bad. The silhouette and the sculpt, the figure kind of reminds me of Bulkhead. He's sort of like I would imagine, had he appeared in the movie, he would be the real muscle. I mean, Dinobots were muscle, but he would have been the sort of the Bulkhead counterpart in the movie, or Hound, whatever. And here he is with Snarl. So they look great. They scale pretty good together. And yeah, I think Sludge was a little bit bigger than some of the Dinobots, but not this much disparity. But yeah, he'll look great on your shelf. And on top of that, he's already done in gray and with some red, obviously, but just the gray bits make him look like a more accurate movie version instead of the all gold and blue and green versions of the Dinobots. This one is more closer to what a Dinobot would have looked like in the movie. So anyway, so here he is. Pretty neat. Lots of soft, rubbery plastic. We'll get to that in a while. Let's start with his weapons and accessories. He comes with these jousts or lances that are used for jousting, but they're supposedly the knights. I think they're pretty useless. I'm sorry. They act as swords and they don't even work as blasters. You could make them, I don't know, maybe like that. It could work as shoulder cannons right here. There are some pegs. This is also where you can store him in robot mode and in alt mode. It'll fold down as shoulder cannons like that. Not my favorite thing for this particular figure. He also comes with these blaster spikes, whatever kind of guns. I'm not really buying it. You know what? Hasbro didn't have to do these weapons. They could have used the money, use the resources to make a decent blaster, maybe a decent sword, and put a little bit more articulation in the wrist, maybe some ankle pivots here. You know, there's a lot of things you could do with the figure, but they decided to use as much plastic on it, and these things cost money. And I think they could have scrimped on, if they wanted to scrimp on this figure, they could have used just one sword, one black long rifle blaster that the G1, sort of like what the G1 had, but you know, whatever. So paint apps, he's done in this glossy gray, silvery, more like gray type of plastic. The sculpt, there's just a bit of red spray painted on it, I think, or painted on it. The red's a little bit too bright for me, but it does well and bring the figure to life because he's so drab with the gray. I like the touch on the aquamarine type of visor right there. That's pretty cool. Silhouette, again, I'm very pleased with it. Looks like the Hulk or Bulkhead. Very, very nice. These are just, I mean, the spikes. What's the deal with these things? Anyway, paint apps, not too bad. Again, as I said, pretty decent enough. I just wish they didn't have to do that. There's a lot of soft rubbery plastic, the soft PVC material. They used this one for the abdominal plate in Dino mode. This is solid. Solid. The entire lower leg assembly is made of, oh no, not entirely, just these bits. They're made this piece, and this one's solid. Sorry, what am I doing? Just this bit. Sorry, the one with the spikes for safety reasons. Okay, just this whole piece right here is soft PVC material. Everything else is hard. His crotch piece is soft as well. And that's about it. Articulation, he's got a very nice ball jointed neck, which is very emotive, assuming he could fly. Kind of like Baymax. Waist swivel, and a little bit of a torso motion because of transformation. Ball hinge shoulders, bicep swivel, hinge elbow, no wrist swivel. Ball hinge hips, thigh swivel, ball hinge knees, and hinge ankle because of transformation. So not too bad, not too bad at all. Despite a non-appearance character, yeah, if you love Dinobots, you might want to pick it up to put on your shelf. Transforming him, the alt mode looks great, but the transformation process just to get him to alt mode and back to robot mode is just ridiculously insane. And it's for me, who loves all these like nuances in transformation, like I love Transformers that really challenge your transforming abilities, but this one was a little bit annoying to a certain degree, and add to the fact that the instructions, just like the other Voyagers, they just give you one direction of instructions, from alt mode, from Dino mode, or from alt mode into robot mode, but he comes packaged in robot mode, so it's kind of a little bit hard to translate it backwards, but it is possible, and along the way you just simply drop the instructions and you figure things on your own, and well, that's I guess the beauty of Transformers. But it was a little bit annoying, but once you get the hang of it, it should be fine. So what do you want to do first to transform him? That's the question. First, I suppose you could do this. The whole idea is he's going to be transformed this way. The head's going to be here, the tail is going to be here, and the legs are just going to be like that. So that's what you want to think about. So you can want to go and do this. Just unfold the shoulders, position the legs so that they already form part the front legs of the brontosaurus, the brachiosaurus, diplodocus, whatever, brachiosaurus, I think. So like that. So that's what the legs are going to look like. Okay, so do that. Then what you want to do is you want to go ahead and fold the entire head assembly over his head, the Dinobot head assembly over his head. And what you want to do is you want to sort of squeeze this thing right in between these chest plates. So as you move the chest plates, as you move him up, you're trying to move the chest plates back right there so that they sort of tab in right there, and then these form this way. So it's a simultaneous motion. You move it up, you move it back. Fold the head that way. Position the arms the legs this way, and just fold the head down. That. Oh, what am I doing? And then this one, because it's been packaged this way, come on Hasbro, it's gonna be like that. What you could do is you can use the hot water, cold water, the boiling water, cold water method, or you could just tuck it in these shoulder pads, shoulder armor, and he'll be good to go. Okay, then what you want to do is you want to go ahead and do that for a while. Okay, unfurl the tail. That. Here's the tricky bit. Go ahead and do this, and what you want to get is to this position. Okay, this is what the hind legs are going to look like, and your guide really is the tail. If the tail is positioned properly, then you know you're doing the right thing. You're doing the correct transformation. So untab these bits, rotate this whole assembly right there, like that. Okay. Go ahead, and what you want to do is you want to move this whole assembly to his abdominal cavity and leave the puny legs at the back. So untab the knee pads, go ahead and unfurl here. Okay, there you go. That's what you want to do. Fold the feet like that, and then you want to go ahead and fold this one up over here. I hope that was clear enough for everybody. We'll do it again. We'll try and do it again. Okay, go ahead and tab, unfurl. Okay, fold up the feet like that, and then go ahead and tab and fold the leg assembly up like that. Okay, what am I doing wrong? Okay, right there. Okay. So essentially, the soft PVC material will form the side cavity of his body, and the whole assembly is just gonna sit like that. I don't know if this. Oh yeah, it just stays like that. Okay, and then go and tab the tail together. Put this crotch piece there to form that part of the tail. It's very hollow, I know. Go and fold these down. That, and those are the legs. It's sort of like elephant legs. That's fine. And then the front legs are like that. And then the head is like this. It's definitely a Brachiosaurus, judging from the silhouette of the whole dino mode. And there you go. There is Slog in his alt mode, or dinobot mode, dinosaur mode. Not too bad. A little bit of articulation going on with the hind legs, like that, and the front legs, which is fine. It does move a little bit, very, very difficult. So the only thing you can really do with him is standing position, like an elephant or a Brachiosaurus. He's got his chomping chomp jaw articulation. And as it is, it looks great. I wish they didn't have to do these spikes for some weird reason. I think probably the Brachiosaurus was spiky. Anyway, the weapons, this one I'm really not buying, but they do it this way to add more spikes. These, they'll just go here, fold it up like that, which is just ridiculous for me. I mean, fine, it gives him, tries to make him more badass looking, but I just don't see the point. They could have totally done away with these spiky weapons, turned them into a real legitimate sword, or even a medieval sword if they don't want to do that old G1 thing. Just a real sword and a blaster, a rifle blaster. You can do it in your in your movieverse version, but the jousts and these spiky thingies, they're just not working for me. I'm sorry. You know, I'll probably keep them on him or put them in the bin if I get too frustrated with it, but it's just, yeah, it's just too much clutter for me. The Dinobot mode is perfect in its own regard without these weapons, save for these things, but I was really happy with it, but Hasbro had to go ahead and do that, but it's fine. So, Voyager class, another Voyager class comparison. This is with Grimlock. It's sort of okay. He looks small because in prehistoric times the Brachiosaurus was definitely way bigger than the T-Rex. So, okay, maybe it could work. Maybe this was a super T-Rex, whatever. So there. So you know, in robot mode he'll scale well, probably with the leader class Grimlock. Maybe with this guy, I don't really know. And in Dinobot mode, they're okay, I suppose. It's really up to you. Alright, so there you go, folks. I hope you've enjoyed this video review. If you did, please click the thumbs up icon at the bottom. Follow me on Twitter for my toy purchases, Instagram for my toy sightings here in Manila. Check out all my video reviews on this channel. This particular figure is going to get, because of the horrendous transformation, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It's pretty okay, but not super great. That you're going to pay more than retail for it. There you go. Transformers 4, Age of Extinction, Generations Voyager class, Slog. Thanks for watching.